Yo, stop for a second. Don't skip this. Because what I'm about to say might explain something you felt for a long time, but never put into words. Respect isn't something you ask for. It isn't something you demand. And it definitely isn't something you're entitled to. Respect is something you earn quietly daily. Through habits most people never question. And here's the uncomfortable truth. People don't lose respect because they're weak. They lose respect because of habits they refuse to let go of. Not loud mistakes. Not dramatic failures. Small habits. Silent ones. The kind that speak for you before you ever open your mouth. And if you're being honest with yourself, you already know which ones you're holding on to. So if you want respect, real respect, from others and from yourself, there are 5 habits that have to end. Not later. Not soon. Not after life calms down. Now. Because every day you keep them, they quietly lower how people see you, and worse, how you see yourself. The first habit is over-explaining yourself. Pay attention to this. Every time you justify every decision, every boundary, every choice, you're sending a message you don't even realize you're sending. You're saying, I'm not fully confident in this, so please validate it for me. Strong people don't over-explain. They don't defend every move. They don't narrate their decisions. They decide. They speak once, and they stop. Think about someone you respect deeply. Do they talk more or less exactly? You don't owe everyone a backstory. You don't need approval to stand on your word. Say what you mean what you say, and let silence carry the weight. Now listen, because the second habit is one most people don't even notice they have. Constantly seeking validation. Waiting for likes. Waiting for praise. Waiting for someone to say, yeah, you're doing great. But here's the reality nobody warns you about. The moment you rely on external validation, you give other people control over your confidence. And nothing drains respect faster than someone who can't stand on their own approval. The most respected people in the room don't chase attention. They don't announce themselves. They don't perform. They move like they already belong. They validate themselves first, and the world adjusts. If you need applause to continue, you'll collapse the moment the room goes quiet. Now the third habit. This one costs people respect every single day. Saying yes when you really mean no. Every time you ignore your own boundaries to keep others comfortable, you teach people how to treat you. And here's the part most people miss. People don't respect availability. They respect clarity. You don't need to be rude. You don't need to be aggressive. You just need to be honest. A calm, firm no earns more respect than a resentful yes ever will. No is not selfish. No is self-respect. And self-respect sets the ceiling for how others show up around you. Now stay with me, because the fourth habit is where respect slowly dies. Complaining without taking action. Everyone has problems. Everyone feels pressure. Everyone struggles. But respected people don't broadcast helplessness. Complaining tells the world you're stuck. Action tells the world you're capable. You can acknowledge the struggle. You can feel the weight. But after that, you move. You adjust. You build. You do something. Because the fastest way to lose respect is to keep talking about the same problem while doing nothing to change it. People don't expect perfection. They respect momentum. And now, the fifth habit. This one is quiet, but it's deadly. Inconsistency. Saying one thing, doing another. Starting strong, then disappearing. Talking big, but showing up small. Respect lives in reliability. When your words match your actions, when people know what to expect from you, when you show up, even when it costs you comfort. You don't need to be extreme. You don't need to be loud. You don't need to impress anyone. You need to be consistent, because consistency builds trust. And trust is the backbone of respect. Now listen carefully. Removing these habits won't just change how people treat you. It will change how you carry yourself. And once you respect yourself, the world has no choice but to respond differently. You speak less, but with more weight. You move slower, but with more certainty. You stop explaining, stop chasing, stop shrinking. Respect isn't loud. It doesn't beg. It doesn't perform. It's quiet, grounded, unshakable. It's built in the moments no one sees. The choices you make when there's no applause. So ask yourself this, and don't dodge it. Which habit ends today? Because the moment you remove what weakens you, you create space for strength. And here's the truth most people never realize. You don't earn respect by adding more. You earn it by removing what destroys it. So remove the habits, tighten your standards, honor your word, protect your boundaries, and watch how the world starts moving differently around you. Not because you demanded respect, but because you finally became someone who commands it. Let's build that version of you. Let's get it.